Hi guys, this is Ocean. This is going to be a VR to a hashtag that I saw on Candy's channel. She was responding to the original, hashtag creator. So I'm gonna link both videos down below. I just forgot that person's name. I'm really sorry. But yeah, it was a fun hashtag and got me thinking immediately. So I was like, let's do this video because it's been a while. I actually made a hashtag. I meant to do quite a few, but then time flew and I wasn't catching up. So this hashtag is about decks that you wish existed but not yet exist, and I really liked Candy's snow globe deck idea, especially with the box, that you could shake and it's snow globe shaped. I think that's in the future. I think someone will create something like that. For me, most of the things that I wish are either connected to TV shows or books mainly. I don't have to wish for a dragon deck. I think, let's be calm, because I was sent a prototype of the Ash. No, that's the second one. Smoke, Ash, and Amber as well, because Stephanie is such a wonderful person. But customs is still sitting on it, so I'm sitting here all sad faced because I can see other people are posting their walkthroughs, and it just hurts my heart that I know that my deck is sitting at customs since the 7th of October. Whatever. Let's send out some positivity and love and light and whatever to the person dealing with this. So, but it's kind of, moving into the first deck that I wish exists, which is based on the Never-Ending Story, which is kind of fitting. But the Never-Ending Story was, I don't even know when did I read it first. It must have been around shortly after I was 10 years old or something like that. But now thinking back, I think the idea of, I think it's called Nothing, because I watched it and read it in Hungarian, so I don't know the English names. But there was the nothing that ate up everything, and Bastion was the only person who could stop that completely devouring everything, and losing everything. And I think that could really well be turned into a cycle of cards from the Fool to the Word, and all those possibilities that with that story. I think that would be wonderful. Maybe at some point, but I know that I would be very, very picky about the decks. So sometimes I wish for decks, but someone makes them, and then it's just not how I would like them to be. So there's conflict there. But the second one is not a surprise. I mean, it shouldn't be. It's the Harry Potter, tarot. There is one already. I know that there's an indie deck creator who illustrated the whole deck, and I looked into it and I almost got it, and I wouldn't mind getting it because it's Harry Potter, but it's more thought-based, and some characters are chosen for certain cards that I don't agree with, like James for the Emperor, because I know that he was Harry's father, but we don't really know anything about the guy. And I know Harry, had this idea and some information we gathered. We know a little about him, but I think in best case scenario he could be a knight, because he died so young, and he wasn't. I don't think he was an emperor in any sense. But that's just my personal experience and personal relationship with the books and the characters. So yeah, that is something that I'm thinking about creating just for myself, a very collage deck. And I already started collecting scenes and characters for certain cards. That's not gonna be something I'm gonna show because it's gonna be full of copyrighted material, but if there would be one officially out, I would buy it because it's Harry Potter, so I have to. Another one, it's based on, I think it's my favorite TV show ever. It's the new version of Battlestar Galactica. I watched that TV show not kidding, at least 20 times by now, and there's just only one episode that I usually skip when they are, that the one that they are spending in the prison. I'm like, that doesn't really add to the story, so I'm like, yeah, I know what happens, I know why it is, so usually I'm just skipping that one. But my the character that I associate with the Knight of Swords, for example, is Adama, and I think he's not knight. I said knight. It's the King of Swords. Sorry, the King of Swords. He is the perfect King of Swords because he makes mistakes, but he's a very logical, emotionally regulated person who can come up with strategies and plans, and is not afraid to move people around on the chessboard, even though he knows that maybe for that move, for that individual, especially for his son, is not going to be the best, but he can see the whole picture, and he knows he's not perfect, but he works with what he has, and I think he embodies the King of Swords with negative and positive aspect as well, really, really wholesomely or well-roundedly, just to throw in some words. So yeah, I would love a Battlestar Galactica deck and a Star Trek deck, but I would want a Discovery maybe, because you always like the newest one. Because, there's just so many decks in Star Trek, but it has to be done well. It can't just be like, oh, here's a few characters and we're calling it a tarot. Doesn't work like that. With TV shows, there's one other, Buffy. I think Buffy the Vampire Slayer should have been turned into tarot a million years ago. I don't know why it's not happening. I think a lot of us love the TV show, so hopefully that's gonna happen at some point. At least I haven't found any, not even an indie deck, but if there is one, please let me know. So those were the TV show based decks that I would like to see. Book-wise, I said Harry Potter obviously, but I'm just thinking there's just too many, so I don't want to sit here forever, even though I made myself this reading corner which is almost ready and it's quite comfortable. But what I would love to see is a deck based on Discworld, because Terry Pratchett's word would be so fitting for a tarot deck. It would be quirky, it would be funny, but it would be meaningful. And I know that, I don't know if that would be possible, but I would like to have the illustration done in the style as the book covers were, because I think those give back the Discworld feeling so well. And I would even be, okay with a circled, a disc-shaped deck with the box, because that would fit the concept so well. Or a box that 4 elephants is carrying, that could be a special edition, because the earth is flat, as we know. So all that, how he imagined everything, and that could be closed into a suitcase with tiny, I think 100. There's a lot of tiny legs. And there could be packaging, tiers that you could go with, and I think I would pay for the highest, because that would be just so cool, all on its own. And I do believe that that deck would read awesomely. You have to have death speaking in capitals, obviously. Okay, and the other one that I would like, a sci-fi themed deck, not necessarily based on just one book, but mainly on William Gibson's style, because I'm just looking at my shelf where I keep his books. I think he's currently my favorite sci-fi writer. I don't know. Looking around. I have other writers, but mostly fantasy. So yeah, sci-fi is William Gibson. I always loved his books. I fell in love with his style ever since I read Mona Lisa Overdrive at least 25 years ago, because I read it in high school, when I started high school, somewhere around that time, or even sooner, because I think that originally belonged to my father, the book, and I started buying his book later. Because I was lucky, my dad used to read a lot of sci-fis and fantasies, so I had a lot of options growing up. Just wander around at the bookshelf to pick up something that I liked. So yeah, those are the books and TV show based, and some just one more deck that I don't know how it could be done, because you need pretty much Tomoe River paper for the ink properties to show up. But I would like a word based, so no illustration, no pictorial deck, but a keyword based deck. I think that could be used as a practice deck or whatever, a learning tool, but with fountain pennings, because I was thinking about, oh, I need fountain pens and fountain pennings, but I don't think adding the pens into the mixture would help too much, because how do you pick a pen for a card like, I don't know, the lovers, because that would be the whole gray pen for everybody, and that's different, so you can't really do that. But with inks, you could choose, based on properties, like if it's shading, uh, does shading, like shady in for example a Five of Swords or something like that. There's so many wonderful inks, and you could choose a color for each minors based on the elements if you want to. So there could be red for red, oranges, and maybe yellows for wands, and um, purple, gray, and blue for not blue because that's water, um, for swords, blues for blue, and bluish greens for swords, and the green and earthy tones for earth. So I think that would be just wonderful. I don't know how it would look, but I think you could just use beautiful calligraphy for the majors, so they would stand out like that. So maybe if someone wants to create that, I mean, I have a lot of inks, but I don't have the handwriting ability to create that. And I don't know if you write on Tomoe River paper, uh, scanning those or taking a picture, how it would, give back, for example, sheening. So the coolest thing would be obviously a paper that displays the properties. So, if you have a sheening ink, like KVZ's sheening machine or nitrogen, once you write on the paper and you have that card with that ink, you could actually see the sheening. I think that would be wonderful. I don't think that it's possible currently to make such a deck, but this is a deck that I wish would exist, and maybe in the future it will be. So yeah, this was my short, quite relatively short response to this hashtag. Please let me know if you do the hashtag. I will try to check out future videos as well, and go back and check those that were already posted, because I think the sun is coming. It's coming for me. This is such a cool and interesting hashtag to see what people are still hoping to see in decks, because we have a lot of decks, but still, it's just never enough. So yeah, look around and see what others do, and please like this video, subscribe, comment down below, and do everything. And also subscribe to my second channel, which is dedicated to readings, so that I have, if you're interested in those type of content as well from me. And I'm gonna stop and let you go, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!